In March 2019, federal raids exposed a massive bribery scheme that reached the highest levels of American society. Celebrities and CEOs were caught paying hundreds of thousands of dollars to ensure their children were admitted to the country's most prestigious universities. The architect of the operation was William Singer. For years, Singer operated a sophisticated side door into the elite tier of American higher education, pocketing $25 million along the way. His clients targeted schools like Yale and Stanford. In the modern economy, an acceptance letter from these institutions is viewed as much more than a degree. It is a lifetime guarantee of success and social standing. To understand how Singer worked, you have to look at the 3 doors into these schools. The front door is the traditional path, where students get in based on their own academic and extracurricular achievements. Then there is the back door. This is the legal method where wealthy families make multi-million-dollar donations to influence the admissions office. It is incredibly expensive, and it rarely comes with an ironclad guarantee. Singer sold the side door. By bribing coaches and proctors, he could fabricate athletic profiles or falsify test scores, ensuring a spot for a fraction of the cost of a new campus building. These families possessed tens of millions of dollars. They could have easily written the massive legal checks required for a backdoor admission. Instead, they chose to commit federal crimes and risk prison sentences for a side door entry. The problem with the legal backdoor is visibility. If a parent buys a library to get their child in, the transaction is public. It marks the student as someone who didn't actually earn their place. Singer's side door offered something the legal route couldn't: the secret appearance of a front door entry. By falsifying records, it allowed the student and the parents to tell themselves and the world that the spot was won through talent and hard work. These parents were purchasing a moral halo. They wanted the societal validation that their child was naturally superior and inherently deserving of their elite status. This scandal reveals a deeper cultural drive. We have become so invested in the idea of merit that even the people at the very top are willing to cheat just to secure the social dignity that supposedly comes with earning it. Political philosopher Michael Sandel argues that our current meritocracy is actually a rigged system. He suggests that what we call a fair race is often just a competition of who had the most resources at the starting line. This chart shows the relationship between household income and performance on the SAT and ACT, standardized tests used for university admissions. The data reveals that these scores are not pure measures of intelligence, but are instead highly accurate predictors of family wealth. Wealth is converted into merit through a multi-year process of private coaching, expensive SAT prep, and the cultivation of niche sports like fencing or sailing, which are used as levers for athletic recruitment. The institutional result is a staggering lack of mobility. At Ivy League schools, students from the top 1% of the wealth bracket now outnumber the entire bottom 60% of the American population combined. When the definition of merit is merely a reflection of a family's bank account, higher education stops being an engine of social mobility. It becomes a tool for consolidating class privilege across generations. This system changes the psychology of the people who succeed within it. Sandel calls this meritocratic hubris, the tendency of winners to believe their success is entirely their own doing. This hubris blinds the successful to the role of luck, genetics, and family support. It encourages the winners to look down on those who didn't make it, viewing their lower status as a personal failure rather than a lack of opportunity. For those left behind, the psychological toll is devastating. If society claims that success is the result of talent and effort, then failure becomes a moral judgment. It tells the loser that they simply didn't have what it takes. This makes failing in a meritocracy far more painful than in the class systems of the past. The system forces you to accept that you alone are responsible for your lot in life. This was the dark side of the rhetoric of rising, the political promise used for decades by leaders like Ronald Reagan, Bill Clinton, and Barack Obama. They all repeated the same mantra, that if you try, you can make it. While that promise sounds inspiring, to the millions who don't rise, it functions as a politics of humiliation. It fuels a deep-seated resentment against the credentialed elite who seem to look down on everyone else. In 2016, that humiliation triggered a political explosion. From the Brexit vote in the UK to the election of Donald Trump in the US, voters delivered a clear judgment against the status quo. This wasn't just about trade deals or lost jobs. It was a psychological revolt against a technocratic elite, a group of leaders who prioritized technical expertise and professional credentials over the dignity of regular citizens. During her campaign, Hillary Clinton famously dismissed half of Trump supporters as a basket of deplorables. She later claimed her voters represented the dynamic and optimistic parts of the economy, effectively telling everyone else they were part of a dying past. In stark contrast, Donald Trump responded by declaring, "I love the poorly educated." He validated the dignity of the people the meritocratic system had spent decades mocking, turning their resentment into a powerful political movement. Populism is the inevitable backlash against a system that grants social respect only to those with elite university degrees. To fix this, we have to move beyond the tyranny of merit. We need to restore the idea that all work, not just the kind that requires a degree, has inherent dignity. Our understanding of who is actually essential to our survival changed during the 2020 pandemic. As the economy shut down, the definition of a key worker underwent a sudden reevaluation. The people we relied on most were grocery store clerks, warehouse workers, and delivery drivers, the very laborers the meritocratic system typically devalues and underpays. We need a new politics of the common good that recognizes our mutual dependence. We are all indebted to one another, regardless of how many credentials we have accumulated. True democracy requires us to acknowledge the role of luck in our success and the value in every citizen's contribution. Only by replacing meritocratic arrogance with humility can we begin to rebuild a shared public life.